Looking for Alaska is a book mostly presented for young adults, yet the deeper meaning is much more powerful than many would think. There are many components in the story that John Green uses, such as the power of love, hope, grief, and mystery. The plot is based upon the death of Alaska Young. Looking for Alaska is a book about a young boy from Florida named Miles who seeks more adventure in his life. When he attends Culver Creek boarding school, his adventure begins. He discovers his new friends, the Colonel, Takumi, and Alaska. He and his friends find new adventure through making mischief and pranking. Miles immediately falls in love with Alaska the first moment he sees her. As their life progresses, Miles grows more and more in love with Alaska. Alaska went through many hardships in her life, and on top of that, she believed that her mother's death was her own fault. One night when Alaska drives to go see her boyfriend, she gets killed in an accident. Through the bolded headings in the book, for example, 89 days before, 15 days before, etc., it exemplifies the relative timing that Alaska dies. Friendship is one major theme throughout the story. Miles's friends accept him for who he was and believed that friendship was an important thing. Here is an example of a quote. "But we will deal with those bastards, Pudge, I promise you. They will regret messing with one of my friends. And the Colonel thought that calling me his friend would make me stand by him. Well, he was right." Another major theme was love. Miles secretly loved Alaska, even when Laura came into the picture. The message that the author was trying to portray was that by the end of the book, each character has discovered more about themselves, especially Miles, who at the beginning of the book came to the boarding school to find his great perhaps. People, I thought, wanted security. They couldn't bear the idea of death being a big black nothing, couldn't bear the thought of their loved ones not existing, and couldn't even imagine themselves not existing. I finally decided that people believed in the afterlife because they couldn't bear not to. This quote explains Miles's idea of people, but really imposes it upon himself. Another message that was being portrayed was that in so much death, the characters found the meaning of life. Miles himself admitted that he learned more about the meaning of life in his first semester at boarding school than he did in his whole life in Florida. Through reading this book, one comes to realize that no one can ever truly understand everything that happens in life. Here is another example of a quote. "What happens to us when we die?" Miles answers that people believe in the afterlife because they can't not believe in one. This shows how Miles is going to cope with Alaska's death and the fact that she is dead. Miles has a gift of remembering famous last words. He remembers William McKinley's last words, which were said to his wife right before he died, "We are all going." He relates these final quotations to Alaska in his mind even before her death and believes that everyone who wades through time eventually gets dragged out by the sea of undertow. That, in short, we are all going.